What's up, everybody? Welcome to System Crafters Live. I'm David Wilson, and we're back again with another Friday stream where we get together as a community and talk about whatever topic I've come up with for the week, and this week is no exception. And as usual, I'm just coming up with these things at the last minute, but that's okay, right? I mean, this is how we do it, so we're gonna do it again. Let me just back up to the presentation screen here. You can tell that I'm not prepared whenever I don't have the presentation up. So let me say hello to the people who have gotten here so far. Valentino, Jeff, Raleigh, Mohammed, Theo Peckley. Raleigh says, what window manager are you on now? I'm in Sway. And as I've said a couple times before, I'm pretty happy with Sway and Wayland as of the current moment. Hello to Daigo and Gun. It's been going pretty well, actually. Hello to Tyler. There are various things that, you have to do a little extra work to make sure certain applications work. But as far as like the important stuff, which is, does it work whenever you plug in your monitor and you want your new screen to show up correctly? Or, can I do screencasting like in a live stream setting or various things like that? Or can I share my screen on a video call? All these things are working, at least the way that I've got it set up now. So it's nice. I'm enjoying it, and it's simple. So that's what matters in the end. Raleigh says, nice, Wayland is sweet. Yeah, it's pretty good. Milner says, hi, Dave E. Wilson. Is there a newer completion than Corfu and Cape? Well, we'll find out. I don't know. Like, I literally don't know. We're all going to figure it out together as we go in the stream. Ashra says, we need to find an even more lispy window manager that has some other strange German name. Yeah, you'll have to invent one because I don't think it exists yet. Sig says, Emacs 29 plus Wayland will be nice. Works pretty well. If you check my Emacs version here, I am using Emacs 29. It's the PGTK build. And it does work well. Hello to Emily. Okay, so as far as updates are concerned this week, the first one that might blow your mind is there's actually, I don't know if it's official, but there is a build of Emacs for Android now, and it actually works. If you have ever used the F-Droid sort of alternative app store for Android before, which is really just focused on like free and open source applications for Android, there's actually an entry there for org.gnu.emacs. And I've installed this on my phone. It does work. There are problems. Like, for instance, the one that I have had, or the main one that I've had is that whenever I'm inside of Emacs and I have my on-screen keyboard up, if I switch to another app and then try to switch back to Emacs, for some reason it doesn't resume. It just hangs, and I have to kill it and restart it. So it makes it pretty unusable from that perspective. But if you launch Emacs the first time, you can do anything you want in there. You can open org mode files. It's full graphical Emacs. This is not in a terminal. That's the main difference from what we've seen so far, which is like if you install Termux, you can use terminal mode Emacs instead of Termux, and it's okay. It's not that bad. But this is real graphical Emacs, so it's kind of a big deal. So I'm going to keep a close eye on this because I think it's kind of the solution if you ever wanted to edit your org mode files on the go and have like the full functionality of org mode. There's actually another app that I ran into recently. Let me see if I can figure out what the name is for that. Just for like org specific functionality, there's a new one that I found that's actually looks pretty good. It's called OrgRow. I'll put a link to that one too. OrgRow. Yeah, so this is another one, but it doesn't support to-do lists. So basically what I'm saying is like, if you want like full org agenda, to-do lists, editing org files, org roam, maybe, I don't know. It might be possible. Denote definitely is possible. Then full Emacs is there, but there's also this other app called OrgRow, which is kind of cool. Let me put that in the show notes. But so the thing about the Emacs 29 build for Android is there's actually a branch for it in the Emacs Git repository, which means that this is actually actual official work now. It seems to be, well, what I've seen is that Po Lu is the person who seems to be spearheading this, because a lot of the commits related to Android are done by Po. But super exciting. There's active work being done here. You can see even 2 hours ago, there's a bug fix happening for this branch. So keep an eye on this branch and the F-Droid entry for Emacs 29. If you update your apps frequently, you might be seeing builds. I don't know, like how often do they update the builds? Okay, so it was like a week ago, the last update, I think. Hopefully they come a little bit more regularly than that, but there's work being done. You could probably build your own APK and put it on your phone using the Android development tools. So worth checking out. Seems pretty cool, actually. Let's see. Theo Peckley says, does it support swipes? I don't know. I don't know if it supports swipes. Hey, Menacing Mecha, nice to see you. Never felt compelled to move from Ivy Council after first using Emacs, so I'm interested to see how other completion frameworks stack up. Yeah, we'll take a look at least at some stuff in Vertico, but we'll look at built-in stuff as well. Anton says, try Orgsly. I have tried Orgsly many times, and it just doesn't really do it for me. I don't know. I don't like the way it works, but that's just me. The problem with org mode is that it allows you to have almost an endless number of ways of using it, and everybody has their own way of using org, and Orgsly will work for some people, but it doesn't really work for me. Oh, really? Eric says, Poe says to avoid F-Droid for the moment as it's not updating. Binaries will be made available separately. Cool. That's good to know. Eric, was that on like Emacs Devel mailing list? Where did you hear that? Because I would like to sort of stay up to date on the information. All right. So that's exciting to me, at least. So hopefully other people are equally excited about that. The other thing I wanted to just bring up as a topic for a short discussion is, okay, cool. Emacs Devel is where this is being discussed. Great. Should I attempt a real sequel to the original Emacs from scratch and live stream it? I had started doing an Emacs from scratch V2 series that was a bit different. I think it was like the beginning of last year or sometime before that. I can't remember. It's been a long time now, and moving to another country sort of wiped my context. But it was going in a different direction, and I feel like the original Emacs from scratch series really sort of encapsulated a lot of things and kind of streamlined the process of creating a configuration from scratch. And there's a lot that I've learned since then about Emacs, and sort of a lot of the packages that I would suggest have changed. So I'm thinking about the possibility of doing another revolution of that series, or what would you call it, revision of that series, much in the same way that we did the last time, maybe focusing on different things a little bit, but also doing it live stream can be pretty interesting, because the first run of it was live streamed and people watch those videos, they watch those recordings. They're probably only about an hour long each, and that helps. So if I did those as streams, they may only be hour-long streams, but I don't know. We'll see. I think it might be fun. Hey, Gavin. Jeff says, yes, but probably not after we're further down the road on crafted Emacs. My 2 cents. Well, yeah, I need to go and try to take a look at the latest stuff on crafted Emacs. Maybe we should do that on another stream coming soon, just to see what that looks like. Cool. So today, Raleigh says, maybe Emacs from scratch, but no packages. You have to script it all yourself. Well, I started sort of trying to do that with the new Emacs from scratch series I did, but I don't know. I mean, you can get fairly far with it, but yeah, we'll see. So today we're going to talk about, we're going to discover what the latest news is on Emacs completions. And when I see Emacs completions, I'm mainly talking about the selection system. Like if you hit Meta X, whatever the display is for you when you do that. By default in Emacs, it is quite sparse. I don't know if that's the right word for it. Let's just pull up Emacs. Come on now, I can't type. Emacs-Q. Get another little instance of Emacs here. Is it going to be compiling a lot of stuff now? That'll be fun. So if I hit Meta X here and start typing in, let's say, pi, and press tab, this is like what the default sort of completions system looks like in Emacs. And then if you go to something like Vertico, like I have here, they looks very different. And there's any number of packages you can use for this kind of completion setup. So today I want to take a look at sort of two different areas. First of all, I want to look at the improvements to the built-in completion systems in Emacs 29. And I am not an expert on everything that has changed here, but we are going to sort of look through the news file and some other sources and try to figure out what the improvements are. So if you know of things that I don't mention here, please feel free to shout it out in the chat and let me know, because like I said, we're all sort of figuring this out together, because I haven't been paying attention. I've just been using Emacs and doing other things for a while. So this is sort of my chance to catch up and maybe improve my configuration a little bit, but we'll try to come up with a couple of configs that I'll put into the show notes so you can check them after the stream's over. And then you can try them out and maybe take bits and pieces, whatever you want to do for your own configuration. Let's see. Gavin says, I feel like Emacs from scratch should probably be independent from crafted Emacs. Yeah, I wouldn't like do it with crafted Emacs, but you know, being able to tell people they can go try out crafted Emacs would be nice. Ashra says, shouldn't Emacs from scratch start with compilation of Emacs? I mean, we could talk about that, but I don't know. I don't think that people want to learn about that as the first thing for configuration. I know you're being sarcastic. Hey, Almavedia. Bruno says, I do think you should do a new Emacs from scratch as an important entry point to people who want to try crafting their own configs, usually coming from Doom, etc. Yeah, things have changed a lot. Even the packages that Doom uses has changed a lot over time. Whenever new interesting stuff comes out, you know, people sort of migrate their configurations. So it'd be good to get like a new, fresh look on everything. Especially now, things like, you know, in Emacs 29, use packages built in by default. There's a lot of stuff that's changed since then. So maybe there's things that we don't have to tell people to do anymore, but that does sort of imply that they need to have Emacs 29, and that's not released yet. So. Raleigh says a hacking on Emacs series would be cool. Yeah, it would be cool to do a little bit more on that. But every time I start doing like live coding that goes deeper than just, you know, configuration, people start falling asleep, I think. Jeff says, I get a lot of, can you do it the way Doom does, kind of issues, questions, etc. Yeah, well, you know, that could be an interesting series of like a shorter series, basically saying like, how do you make a configuration like Doom without using Doom, I guess. Ashra says, I'm currently using Fido mode in my minimal configuration on this machine. That's the full customization of MetaX here. I usually use Vertico plus marginalia though. Okay, cool. So let me just put some things down. Fido mode has been around for a long time, I think. There's also iComplete vertical, or is it vertical iComplete mode? Probably some other stuff too. Raleigh says, what mode line are you using? I'm using Doom mode line. And I think that Jeff said something at the beginning of the chat about iComplete Fido with vertical modes, or I do. Looking forward to an interesting stream. Okay, so I think there's also a, like Jeff mentioned, which I didn't know about, Fido vertical mode. So that would be kind of cool to check out. Cool. And later we'll do a little run through of whatever's latest in Vertico, because there was a 1.0 release of Vertico in December of last year. And I haven't really, like I've been using whatever the latest changes of Vertico are, but I haven't actually gone and like try to rewrite my configuration for Vertico to see if I've missed anything new. Plus there's been things that I haven't really adopted yet, like Cape, which I believe that Cape is something that you can use in any of these configurations. It doesn't have to be Vertico. It can be, you know, with plain old built-in completion systems. That's typically the way that Minad does things. He writes it to use the underlying Emacs functionality so that any of the completion systems can get access to it. So I'll have to check that out too. Ethalon says, what are the differences between Helm and Vertico? Well, Helm is a full system. It's a fully complete completion system that has a lot of functionality. Vertico is just a UI effectively for selections and completions in Emacs. So you have to put together your full system with Vertico, usually with things like consult, marginalia, orderless, embark, etc. So it's more of a put together your own system kind of deal. And whereas Helm is a full system. Hey, Hey, Case. Theo Peckley says, didn't Prot used to have something like mct.el? Yeah, Prot had MCT, and I think he archived it. He's not working on it anymore because I think that he says a lot of the stuff that he was doing with MCT can be done with built-in Emacs now. In fact, that's a good question. Let's see. Prot MCT. MCT plant protein. That's not what I had in mind. Let's see. Protecellus. MCT. There we go. There's a mirror on GitHub. We don't want that one. GitLab. All right. I think this is the right one on SourceHut. Tree, readme. Oh, okay, cool. At least it will show me something. Where does it say? Development of this package has been discontinued. And that was in April of last year, so quite a long time ago. I do want to see what he said about that, though. Let's see. Recent developments in Emacs.git indicate that the next stable version of Emacs will have MCT-like functionality built in. Yes, there's some kind of like grid mode stuff or something that has been added. Yeah, we're gonna take a look at the Emacs news and see what we can find in there. Okay. So hopefully that answers the question. Martin says, as a network ops, I'm using terminal with screen inside of Emacs. Also a heavy user of using buffer for pre-building configs and jump to vterm to paste it in. Terminal with screen inside of Emacs, probably with vterm. Probably you could just automate the process of inserting text. I think that vterm has an insert, or at least you might be able to automate that somehow. I don't know though. I haven't had to deal with that before. All right, so first of all, let's take a look at the Emacs 29 news file. Now, I thought I found this as Control-H, Control-N, but maybe it's just Control-H-N. So Control-H, Control-H, I can't type. Control-H-N, there we are, okay. Let me fix this too. So this is the Emacs news file. It's kind of nice that you can read it inside of Emacs so you can get a sense of what the changes are. Let's take a look at completion. And in fact, I'm going to use Embark for this purpose. Where is it? Completion. And then we will export this so that we have this in hand for later. So Control-K no longer deletes files in IDO mode. Maybe we should go from the earlier entries. Is this all still Emacs 29? Because sometimes they have like later Emacs versions. Emacs 28. Okay, cool. I don't know what order this stuff's in, so maybe we just go top down. All right, so new key binding after meta X. Emacs allows different completion predicates to be used with meta X. Toggling between these modes. Yeah, that doesn't mean anything to me right now. Find library, include other files. Commands like find library will only include library files in the completion candidates. Okay, don't really care about that right now. New function deabbrev cap F for use on completion at point functions. I wonder if that has something to do with the cape package. Completion at point functions, okay. All right, so let's go right here. This is probably the section we need to read. New commands for navigating completions in the mini buffer. Let's see, meta up or meta down selects a previous next completion. The user option mini buffer completion auto chooses nil. They do the same without inserting a completion candidate to the mini buffer. Okay. Not that important. Completions buffer can now be automatically selected. To enable this behavior, customize the user option completion auto select. Then pressing tab will switch to the completions buffer when it pops up that buffer. So the default setup is to have this completions buffer, and I've never really used it. And I don't know why it's useful aside from the fact that you could jump to that buffer and then search inside of it. Like I could use Control S and then say sort. And I think I can press enter on that. Yeah, so that worked. So, you know, it's something that you could use general Emacs patterns, bindings, etc. on, but I still don't think it's like kind of nice. Let's see. So Mohammed mentions his blog post. Thank you, Mohammed, for notifying me about that before the stream. I actually did include it in the show notes here, and I have it up right here. We'll take a look at that in a little bit, but oh, I can't paste it in the chat from here because I'm on a different machine. Well, anyway, if Ashraz can paste the link in, I think Ashraz may be the only person who can because he's a mod. Maybe Gavin can too. Okay, so back into the news file. New user option, completion auto wrap. When non-nil, the commands next completion and previous completion automatically wrap around on reaching the beginning or end of the completion's buffer. Now that's cool. Thanks, Ashraz. The link to Mohammed's blog post is in the chat. So this is something that I actually use quite often. So if I were to say Emacs dash, if I press, well, for me, Control J, it goes Vertico next. But if I go back up to the very first completion and press Control K, it loops back around to the very bottom. For me, that's useful. And that's something that Vertico has as a feature. But it seems that now that is built in Emacs. So where was that? Right about here, completion auto wrap. So let's start putting together something here. We will go into a file. Let's see, completion inbox. I don't know. Let's try that out. Let's also change the theme here because it's going to drive me crazy. Load theme. Oh, okay. All these things show up because I have it here. That's cool. Which one do we want to use today? Doom Melt Bus. I don't know what that is. Yes, load it. Is this going to work? Who knows if it worked? Okay, so we're going to use set queue. What is it called? Completion auto wrap. And this is set as an Emacs list buffer. So, oh, I don't have evil turned on here. Okay, so I evaled that. I don't know if this is going to work though. So let's see. MetaX Emacs tab. If I use Alt up and down. Oh, okay. So it actually does arrow through the selections and also N and P. Okay, actually, yeah, up and down, and it does loop. So you can loop through this list with that completion auto wrap turned on. Let me turn it back off and just verify that that does the thing we expect it to do. No. There we go. So now we'll type in Emacs again, tab, and then meta. Yeah, so meta up doesn't do anything. Meta down all the way to the end, it won't wrap. So that does verify that you can wrap, which is cool. I do want that. So I'll turn that back on. What else do they have in here? New values for the completion auto help user option. There are 2 values to control the way the completion's buffer behaves after pressing a tab if a completion is not unique. The value always updates or shows the completion's buffer after any attempt to complete. If value is visual, what? Is like always. Oh, the value visual is like always, but only updates the completions if they are already visible. Default value T always hides the completion buffer after some completion is made. So what does that mean? Updates or shows the completion's buffer after any attempt to complete. So maybe what I need to do here, let's just try it out without it first. In fact, let's drop down on the next line here. Completion. Auto help. Yep. We'll just set it to T. That's already default. If I use Control HV, it should tell me that. Let's see. Values T. Auntie Carol says, off topic, but is your audio sound setup different? It sounds pretty sweet. I've tweaked some things. I didn't mean to change anything. I might have increased the volume a little bit, but that's great if it sounds better. I'm glad to hear that. Kay says, oh, I like the default theme. I don't feel like being blinded right now. Tango Dark. Tango Dark's pretty good, actually. So Ashra says, you like that mug? Why not get your own? Yeah, the one that's on the new store now isn't the same as the one that I'm holding in my hand, unfortunately, because I didn't have time to go and like update the design. Is it the same? Yeah, it's not exactly the same. But yeah, you can get that if you want. But I'm not so sure about this new store. Like, it hasn't been telling me if people are ordering anything, and I think people did. I have no idea what it's doing, so I have very little insight into the situation. Okay, cool. Auto help. Let me check that description again. Automatically provide help for invalid completion input. Value is T, the completion buffer is displayed. The value is lazy, it's only displayed after the second failed attempt to complete. If the value is always, completion buffer is always shown after a completion attempt and a list of completions is updated. So let's try this. Emacs. All right, I press tab again, it gives me the list. So let's try putting it to always. And then try Emacs tab. Okay, so it just automatically shows up the completion list whenever you press tab anytime without trying to complete some prefix string that it knows how to complete. But it also completes the string. So maybe I can see why you wouldn't want that by default, because maybe all you want to do is just type in Emacs dash L and then have it complete some substring. But maybe it does helpful. Maybe it is helpful. I kind of actually like it. We'll leave that on always for now. Raleigh said, I got a sticker. Cool. Let's see. New commands to complete the mini buffer history. Mini buffer complete history is like mini buffer complete, but completes on the history items instead of the default completion table. Huh. Control X up. Mini buffer complete defaults completes on the list of default items. I don't really know what that implies though. Complete mini buffer defaults as far as possible. Let's check complete history also. We probably also need to have save hist mode turned on for that to work. Let's see. So mini buffer complete history. If I do Alt X and it's Control X up. Oh, okay, so it gives you the list, the history of the things that we've executed. Load theme or Python sort imports. So that's kind of cool. And then you can arrow through those, I'm guessing. Control up and down. Or is it Alt up and down? Yes, Alt. There we go. Okay. So that's something that gives you history. You could probably rebind that command to something else. I kind of like using Control R. Is that already bound? No, that's I search backward. Okay. Yeah, in the mini buffer, what you call it? Mini buffer map. Mini buffer mode map. Yeah. So I could do that if I wanted to. Let's say define key. And then mini buffer mode map. KBD. I don't know if this is the right syntax. I'll figure it out in a second. Is LDoc turned on? Yeah. Key map, key def. Cool. So I want this to be Control R. And then I want it to be mini buffer history completions, right? History what? History, what was it called? Complete history, there we go. Complete history. All right, so now if I go up to this line, execute that. Now if I go into the mini buffer, meta X, and type in Control R, then it gives me the list of history items. So that's cool. Okay, exit please. That's enough, thank you. Whoops, Control X1, there we go. And also Control slash, yeah, okay. Set or bind Control R to show mini buffer history entries. There we go. What was I using for that? There's something, it's like Vertico history or something? Not sure. Okay. Key map set in Emacs 29? Don't know about that. Mjolnir asked, which completion framework are we checking out right now? We're basically just customizing the default with whatever the default is with the new settings that are available. So what was that Mjolnir said? Or Ismail said that. Key map set. Key map set. Key map key definition. Now, what is different about this? Is it a string for key? Key is a string that satisfies key valid. So how about that? Key map set mini buffer mode map CR. And can I do like unset key? Local unset key. Or is there a way? Well, whatever. Let's not do that right now. I'm trying to make sure that we're really going to get the desired output here. Mini buffer complete history. I guess we can just check the mode map. Let's do this. We'll set this to control comma. Actually, that was wrong. Control period. Now let's check mini buffer mode map. Oh, it doesn't have the actual keys. Well, let's try. Let's try. I think it worked. So if I press control dot, okay, it does it. So we don't actually want that binding. We want control R. I'm just, making sure that this function works the way we expect it to. So I didn't know about key map set. That's cool. Key map unset, nice. So how about that? Key map unset, mini buffer mode map, control dot, unbalanced parentheses, because I forgot the quotation mark. Cool. And then we can get that comma out of there too. Meta X, control dot, undefined, cool, great. All right, so let's get back to the, hey now. Let's get back to the notes. LDEF shortened default. Customize user option mini buffer default prompt format instead. Oh, they've removed that one. Default prompt format. I see. For default values. Don't care. Completions max height. That's cool. Limits the height of the completions buffer, and I'm guessing this is the number of lines. So let's try that. Completion, whoops, completion, if I can type today. Max, what's it called? Max height. All right, so let's say 20, I don't know. All right, so it changed the way that the output is displayed, because usually this is put into a grid, but now it's a straight line. And also we're getting some key binding information in here, which is kind of interesting. Find file tab. Okay. Interesting. So completions max height. What if I put it to 50 and do that same thing that I did before? So if I go back down here, quit that. What did I type in? EM? Ah, okay. So it does take up more space. If I go back and put this down to, let's say 10 and run EM, press tab. Okay, cool. So that does actually set the number of lines that is visible. Ashra says, is that marginalia compatible without Vertico? It is compatible without Vertico. You can turn on marginalia without it, but I haven't done that yet. Let's see. Data Monoid says, can we do autocomplete without hitting tab? Usually you use something like Vertico for that, but there are other things built in that can do that, I believe. We'll check that out in a second. Completions header format, string to control the heading line shown in the completions buffer. Let's see. Number of possible completions, nil, no header is shown. I kind of like not having that header around, I think. Let's see. EM tab. Oh, okay, so it's this header. That's fine. I don't like this part. I wish that would go away. Can they tell me how to get rid of that? Okay. Completions highlight face. Whenever you select an option, it uses a particular face to highlight. That's cool. Choosing a completion with a prefix argument doesn't exit the mini buffer. That means typing Control U, return on a completion candidate in the completions buffer, inserts the completion to the mini buffer, but doesn't exit the mini buffer. Okay. Interesting. So what if I do, let's see, what's a good command to do for this? Evil dash mode. So if I say Control U, if I press Control U, enter. Okay, it still took the mini buffer away. I don't know what that's supposed to do. Unless what it's supposed to do is let me, wow. Now it wants to compile everything. Completion show help. Mohammed says, completion show help determines whether the show hide that help prompt. Thank you. I like that. Let's do that, actually. So let's see. Completion show help. Nil, I'm guessing. Let's use Control-HV to see. Okay, cool. So if I run that, press Control-X, EM tab. Nice. Okay, so that gets rid of that noise. I like that a lot. I mean, this is sort of just, you know, improvements on the built-in stuff. So already it's kind of becoming more useful. Okay, there we go. What's next? Oh, I wanted to check Control-X, Control-F. So let's see, .vim info. I'm going to press Control-U, enter. Okay, still it doesn't seem to do what I expect it to do. So I don't exactly know what this is supposed to do. For autocomplete without tab, just have Emacs pick a random completion after a set amount of time. Okay. You can now define abbreves for the fundamental mini buffer modes. Don't know much about that. Let's see, what else we got? Did I try that completion auto select? When pressing tab, we'll switch to the completions buffer when it pops that buffer. If the value is second tab, then the first tab will display completions and the second one will switch to the completions buffer. I actually like that. So let's do that. What was it called? Completion auto select. Let's do it here. Completion dash auto dash select T. I'll run that. And then now if I type in EM tab, that shows the, oh, that's actually, okay, that's fine. So now it automatically put me into the completions buffer, and I can probably use Control S and type in up time, and it jumps directly to the uptime entry. And then I press enter twice on that, and then it tells me the uptime. So that's cool. Also, it's had a second tab. So second tab, if I execute that, EM tab. Now, it didn't automatically jump in here, but I can press tab again and it will jump into this buffer so I can select things myself. Then I can search for, let's say, DWIM, and it will put me right there. That's great. I mean, that kind of makes the built-in system a bit better. I've never really used the built-in system, or at least not in a long time. So, you know, I might be compelled to try to use it, knowing that all that works. Is that everything? I think that's everything. So what else am I missing? Show help, auto wrap. That's cool. So let's take a look at Mohammed's blog post and see if there's anything else cool in here that that might be useful to try. So what Mohammed is saying is that this blog post is driven by his desire to have a completion setup that's like Prot's MCT package. And I'm not really an expert on MCT. I've tried it out before on stream once, but I haven't really used it enough to know exactly what it does well. But there's a couple other settings here we haven't tried yet. like the completions format one column. So let's try that out real quick. Because right now it's doing multiple columns, completions, format, one column. But let's see what the variable description says. Its value is horizontal. If the value is vertical, display completions sorted vertically in columns in the completions buffer. Interesting. If the value is one column, display completions down the screen in one column. Yeah, I think, excuse me, I think that's what MCT was all about. It was about using the built-in functionality of, let me grab this. What is it, Control Y? Nope. Using the built-in functionality of the completions buffer to do a lot of the same things. There we go. I can never remember the yank key bindings in Emacs. Ah. Paste, please, for the love of God. What happened? Control W. Yeah. Now, yank. Is that right? There we go. Jeez. Anyway, let's put that right there. So, EM tab. So now we've got this vertical list that just got everything in one line. If I press tab again, press Control S, DWIM, it at least jumps down to it, but it doesn't filter the buffer. At least it gives us the chance to, move around in the buffer and try to find what we're looking for. So we can sort of have a Vertico-like experience by doing that, but it's not the best in my opinion. Case, I don't know, was I talking to you? All right, so that was cool. I kind of like that little setup. However, there's other stuff that we can try out inside of Emacs. It's not necessarily specific to Emacs 29, but we can go back into that news buffer and just make sure we didn't miss anything. Help. Where is the news? Control HN. We'll kill this for now. Hey. Control HN. So, Fido. Okay, nothing about Fido. I do. Control K no longer deletes files in I do mode. Okay, fine. What else? Vertical. Okay, so nothing in this version about that. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't even finish what Mohammed's blog post was saying. Max height 20, auto select nil. What is, I think we had auto select, right? Okay, yeah. When I want to narrow the completions, I'll just type into the mini buffer and hit tab again. Ah, let's try that out. So auto select nil, EM tab, DW, yeah, can't do space, Emacs. Okay, so whenever you hit tab, apparently it cycles through the list. Interesting. All right. What about L? Okay, I mean, that's not bad, actually. Might be better on performance, too, because you're not updating the display every time you type a character. Okay, yes, Mohammed says, kind of like manual live completions. That's right. That's what I'm getting here, too. That's cool. Okay, now, like I said, there's nothing specific about the other modes that I want to take a look at in Emacs 29, but I do want to sort of just show them because they are interesting. So first of all, what is it? iComplete vertical mode. Hey, why did it do that? iComplete vertical mode. Now, if I use Meta X and press tab, is it going to do the right thing here? Or is it, no, it's not going to do the right thing, is it? I wonder if I broke it. Or do I have to put iComplete mode on also? iComplete mode. Oh, now it's working. So, ICOM. So this may be what Data Monoid is asking about. So if you turn on iComplete vertical mode, you get kind of like one of these newfangled vertical completion experiences. And this is just built into Emacs. You can turn that on whenever you want. Hey, Dave. So let's see. Let's change this completion's max height. I wonder how I can do this so that we can try them all out differently. Let's put them in defuns, maybe. Defun. Let's see. Basic completion style. I don't even know what to call that. That's okay, though. I'm missing all my key bindings here. I can use indent S expression, indent S expression. There we go. What? Press enter. What are you doing? S. There you go. Didn't work, did it? Control R. Okay, there it goes, finally. Now, we'll leave this binding here. I think it's useful. So defun, I complete vertical style. I will copy this whole form here. It's because we want to take some of these settings and maybe tweak them a little bit. So Alt W, yeah, I don't know. I'm terrible with these key bindings. What can I say? Control Y? No. Control Y there. Yes. Cool. So I don't know if we need like these completion auto select settings. I don't know if even iComplete vertical has anything to do with this. Ashra says, iComplete vertical mode seems to be a nice built-in alternative to Vertico. Yeah, it's pretty good, but there's something that's weird about it right now where I try to type in, wow. Let's see, what kind of mode can we do? Mode. Also, the completions are not fuzzy matching, but we can change that too, I believe. But let's see, display line number mode, line numbers mode. If I press enter, okay, that works. But if I am in this buffer and press enter, yeah, it doesn't, because it has completions, it doesn't automatically go to the one I want to press enter on. I would like it for just to take the selected one and go with it. So I think there's a setting for that. Let's see, Control H, no. What's happening? There we go. Also, I need to run this iComplete vertical style. So I probably can just eval buffer this whole thing, eval buffer. All right. I also want to raise that max height to maybe 15. So if I eval the buffer again, and then press meta X, EM dash, or EM tab. So it makes this thing pop up, but I don't actually want that. So maybe I need to turn auto help to nil, huh? So let's turn auto help to nil, because we don't want that in this model. The EM tab, yeah, I never want it to show that that completions buffer. So turning that off helps. Then this one column is irrelevant in this case. I think show help is also irrelevant. Auto select is irrelevant. Auto wrap might be relevant. In fact, EM tab, if I press Alt P, yeah, it does go back up to the top, but then you lose, wait, no. I think that's the history. Okay, let's say EM and then Alt up and down. Oh, wow. So it pulls up the completions buffer. That's strange. Ah, yeah. Thanks, Ashras. Was it toolbar mode? Toolbar mode. I'm trying to complete it. Obviously, it needs a little bit of work. Also, menu bar mode needs to go away. All right, there needs to be a better way to configure this. Can I search for, oh, geez, Control H, K. No, Control, stop please. Control H, F. And then I start hitting escape repeatedly. Let's just turn on evil mode so I don't go insane. Because this is not working well. All right, Control H, F. We're looking for I-complete vertical mode. So, as many completion candidates as possible are displayed depending on the value of max mini window height, and the way the mini window is resized depends on resized mini windows. All right, so I remember those settings from when I tried this in the past. We can set max mini window height. And what is this set to by default? Oh, the quarter of the window size. All right, I don't like that too much. Can you do it by line numbers? If integer, it specifies the maximum height in units of the default font height, which I'm gonna take that to mean number of lines. So we can reeval that. EM. All right, cool. So that seems right. Now this is taller because I told it I want 15 lines, but I actually probably want something more close to 10. And oh, I didn't rerun the function. Okay, EM. Yeah, that looks more like what I like to see. Ashra says, Emacs iComplete info page has information. Yes. So let's try that. Info, Emacs iComplete, right? Maybe it needs to be capitalized. There we go. Fast mini buffer selection. Let's get rid of this window. All right. At any time, you can type Control J to select the first completion in the list. EM. Ah, Control J just runs the first one. I see. So Control J is like the executing the what is considered the selection. The thing that's different about the iComplete vertical mode compared to something like Vertico is that Vertico has a little selection cursor that you can move up and down inside this view. But for iComplete vertical mode, it rotates the selection so that the selected item is always the first one. So if you use, like, no, that's not what I want. Maybe it's just up and down. EM tab. Yeah, up and so we use the up and down arrow keys. It still lets the selected item is always the first one in the list. And I guess the point is that you press Control J to nice. Control J to select that. And Edward says Control J also executes ELISP code in the scratch buffer. That's interesting. iComplete seems to use Control dot and Control comma according to the docs. So it does say here. Where was that? I saw that. Alternately, you can use Control dot and Control comma to rotate the list into the desired buffer as first. So all right, so Control comma and dot do the selection rotation. SSL says Vertico mode seems to have better performance. It might, yeah. Meta tab will select the first completion in the list, like Control J, but without exiting the mini buffer so you can edit it further. Okay, cool. So we were trying to do that before. So find file. Let's go to the home directory. .files. README. So that's meta tab. Okay. I don't see the difference. Select the first completion in the list, but without exiting the mini buffer. I see. So you can edit it further. Fine. Gotcha. So he just completes it all the way, but Control J would actually execute the command or the file or whatever. So it seems we need both iComplete mode and iComplete vertical mode. So I need to go back into my, come on. There we go. Into my function here. We need to execute both of those. Oh, have evil mode, thank God. So iComplete mode 1 and also I complete vertical mode 1. Okay. That's good. And it just pops up as soon as you start typing anything. One thing I do like about Vertico is that I press Meta X and it automatically shows me the completion result list. I think there's a way to do that with iComplete Vertical. Let's see, completion dash. Cycling version. Saved bindings, blah, blah, blah. Prefix min length. A prefix min length. 3. Don't change without recompiling. That sounds scary. Interesting. It's used by macros. What does the manual tell us about that? I guess I should be looking at that here, huh? So that was info, Emacs, iComplete. iComplete prefix length. Let's see. iComplete. Oops. iComplete. Maybe it needs to be loaded. iComplete. There we are. You're probably right, Ashraz. Separator compute delay. That could be something. Compute delay. Used only with large number of completions. iComplete delay completions threshold. So meta X. So it never comes up on its own. You have to type something. High common prefix, count, num, max delay cares. Okay, that might be it. Maximum number of initial cares to apply compute delay. So if I change that to 0, what about that? Let's try. iComplete. Max delay cares 0. And now if I press meta X, okay, it doesn't do anything. Probably not the right setting. So let's just get rid of this part. An alternative to iComplete mode is Fido mode. Is very similar to iComplete mode, but retains some functionality from a popular extension called iDo mode. Among other things, in Fido mode, Control S and Control R are also used to rotate the completions list. Control K can be used to delete files and kill buffers. I believe that the notes say that they don't do that anymore, though. Flex is used as the default completion style in Fido mode. Okay, so for iComplete, we could also set completion styles to Flex. And that's something we haven't done yet. If we would go look at the completion styles variable. Come on now. Control HV. There we go. So the default value is basic partial completion Emacs 22, but it seems like the one being suggested here is initials and flex. Initials is kind of interesting, actually. Thanks, Ashraz. Let's see. So let's try that. Completion styles. What did we say it was? Initials and flex. Haven't actually tried this in a while. EM. P. No, it didn't work, did it? I can't press space. EPT. No. Did it not actually execute this? Because it's not doing what I expect. Let's check the variable again. It's not changed. What happened? Oh, okay. My mistake. EMPT. EPTD. Okay, cool. So, initials setting for completion styles. It, oh, iComplete vertical style? It has that? So that will allows you to complete things based on the initials you type in. Like let's say FF is find file or fork or other things like that. EU for Emacs uptime, right? But let's see, EM up. So I think Flex also allows you to do like substrings. So Emacs up will give you Emacs uptime. And if you press space, wow, it just like completes the most relevant pattern, which is kind of interesting. VC, but that is not what I want. VC tab. That's kind of funny. But that's kind of nice though. I mean, you can quickly sort of find things that way. SSL says FIDO mode. Let's try that. Let's see. So I don't know if we need to disable iComplete mode first. Yes, come on, do it. Mode, do it. Jeez. All right, so now if we use Control X or Meta X, yeah, all right. So EM tab, cool. That's what I expected. So FIDO dash mode. And this is its own vertical mode. Oh, wow. So this is actually more even like Vertico. I've never seen that before. Is that right? FIDO vertical mode? It's already in FIDO vertical mode. I don't know what's happening here because this display looks too much like Vertico. FIDO mode will break completion style. Well, let's see. I'm actually curious what it does to completion style. Initials flex. Well, it doesn't seem... Maybe it doesn't use it. So that's a possibility. The flex completion style is kind of slow. Yeah, it's probably not ideal to use all the time. But flex seems kind of interesting. Oh, yes. All right. Let's take this out. So FIDO mode 1. And then FIDO vertical mode. So does it have its own FIDO height? No. What was it called? Oh, max mini window height. I think it applies to this also. So we could probably copy the same thing here. I think auto wrap probably applies, though it doesn't actually seem to. The auto wrap T is not actually working for FIDO, which is interesting. And I start pressing page up, page down, it starts doing things that are a little bit weird. iComplete mode and FIDO mode display the possible completions on the same line as a prompt by default. To display the completion candidates vertically under the prompt, use Meta X iComplete vertical mode or set it to T. Yeah, I might do that. We'll see. So we have iComplete. Do we have anything specifically about FIDO? It doesn't look like we have anything about FIDO. Info, apropos, FIDO. Let's see what if it gives us anything back. Just that same entry, okay? So then, so we've seen what we can do with these sort of built-in completion systems. I'd say that maybe FIDO mode needs a little bit more tweaking. And the completion styles, I don't know if maybe I'm setting that and it needs to just go to flex only. I can try to do that really quickly. Max height 15, auto help. Yeah, let's leave that. Let's leave all that. Okay, and then Meta X. Yeah, so that's the other thing that's different about FIDO mode is like when you hit Meta X, it automatically pulls up everything about, wow, that was weird. I think Control J also works for selecting things. But then enter also works too. So in my opinion, FIDO mode with FIDO vertical mode operates more like what I expect it to. Hey, Alex. So maybe that's a good candidate for something that's in the box to get basically what, similar to what you would get from Vertico. But Vertico is pretty polished. So let's try something. I have Marginalia installed. Let's try running it and see if it actually shows things up in... Yeah, okay, so FIDO mode, if you turn on Marginalia, which is one of these packages that sort of is in the realm of Vertico, etc., you get all the documentation strings for everything. That shows them in completions. Also, Control X, Control F. You also get the file permission readout, the size, and the last updated date. So a lot of that same information that you would get from something like Vertico, you can also get from FIDO. And it seems that this does the filtering as well. So if we went back to, let's turn off FIDO mode, turn back on iComplete mode. Okay. EM. Okay, so this also works with iComplete vertical mode, the Marginalia stuff. Control X F dot. Oh, this is filtering too. That's weird. Is that because of Flex? Must be Flex. But the Flex completion style may be the one that's actually causing this to work. What about UPG? Okay, yeah, Flex may be doing that. That's pretty nice, actually. Maybe Flex is the only one you really need until you start using something like orderless. Cannot use along with orderless. Okay. Mohammed says, how do the different completion styles handle completion in region rather than mini buffer completion? The default completions buffer system works reasonably well, but I've never tried the others. Let's see. If I go here and type compl and then use Control Alt I, next care not unique. Oh, it doesn't actually pop anything up. So iComplete region. Okay, iComplete in region setup. We probably need to run that. So FIDO in region. I wonder if iComplete in region is what is necessary. iComplete in region setup. All right, so iComplete in region setup. Okay, iComplete in region setup. Dude, I'm trying to type the thing out. iComplete in region setup. Control J? Have to do that, huh? Not documented. Well, let's see. In region setup. Who's calling that? Completion in region mode hook. Oh, do I have to turn that on? Completion in region mode. But doesn't seem to be happening. Completion in region. No. Control K. Completion at point. Interesting. I thought that completion at point starts completion in region. Next care not unique. So, Emacs completion in region. Kind of weird. Completion in buffers, and I'm losing my mouse cursor now. That's one downside of Wayland, is sometimes you get some weird stuff happening. Function, completion in region. Start in collection. Yeah, control meta I, that's what I'm doing. And it's not actually setting things up the way I expect it to. Let's go back to that buffer we were just looking at. This is in FIDO mode. Oh, iComplete mode. Let's see. iComplete mini buffer setup. iComplete FIDO mode setup. Remove hook. Are we adding it back? Add hook. Oh, iComplete in buffer. There's a variable for that. iComplete in buffer. Cool. So let's try that. Let me go back into our little configuration file. And then we're going to put in iComplete in buffer T. Let's delete that for a second. Actually, let's do that. We also need to put that here, I think. So I need to disable and re-enable FIDO mode. Oh, no. Well, let's try it anyway. Maybe turning that on will do the trick. Yeah, that didn't work. iComplete mode. Okay. COMP meta control. Oh, okay, there it is. Control Alt I. Now it does actually give you. What the hell? What just happened? All right, that ain't right. Not sure what's going on there. Probably not what you want to do. Study WM. I didn't see that one. Hello to Study WM. What is Study WM's channel about, Ashraz? Why we don't have any colors in the Emacs list buffer? Maybe it's this weird theme I'm using. Let's try a different one. Load theme. Doom. Whoa. I don't want to automatically do it. Load theme. Doom. All right, so, well, let's see. Which one do we want to try? Not Pale Knight. We've seen enough of that. Challenger Deep. I don't remember what that is. What? This thing is not completing the way I expect it to, and it's driving me nuts. And I don't want to spend much more time on trying to fix the built-in stuff. Let's move on to Vertico in a second. Okay, so I think that's enough on those. Oh, that's cool. I like that idea. Ashra says the channel is Study With Me, a live stream channel where the channel creator studies often several hours at a time and invites others to study at the same time. That's cool. Graphite City at Midnight theme. What is that? This week on Frustrating David, says Case. Yes, it is frustrating me. All right, let's move on to a selection package that I'm actually familiar with and it won't drive me insane. We'll try the latest in Vertico. Let me say completion vertico.el. And we will close this Emacs session and start up a new one because we want to just be fresh and not have anything hanging on there. Emacs-Q. And then we can say, wow, come on now. Me with my escape problems again. Load theme. Doom. Rouge. Yes. Okay, that's kind of nice. Let's also turn off the toolbar mode and the menu bar mode. All right. iComplete is better in every way. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. FIDO mode is for I do users, not recommended for new users. I don't know. It seems kind of nicer in some ways, but it probably needs some more polish. All right. So let's move on to checking out what's going on with Vertico. I haven't actually looked at what's been changed in Vertico in a while. One thing that's unfortunate is, well, let's actually see. Where are we in my Vertico build? Stop it. I'm just going to run Vertico mode because I already have it installed through Geeks. I don't know, however. I also need to turn on evil mode because I'm going to end up punching a hole through the wall. Evil mode. Okay. So, describe function, Vertico mode. I just want to pull up the file where this is installed to see how I have it installed, where it is. Okay, it's from Geeks. It's Vertico 1.0. Great. That's exactly what I want to see. So this is Vertico 1.0. And as you can see, MetaX, we got a nice looking layout here. It does pretty much what we want it to do by default. I don't know why page up, page down does this though. Maybe I shouldn't be using page up, page down. But anyway, point being, already it's got the right kind of functionality that I expect to see by default. Like if I hit Meta X something, let's say menu bar mode, press enter, it does the thing that I tell it to do. So that's nice. Control R, it's doing eye search in the buffer, is it? Vert. That's cool. What about Control R find? Okay, cool. So let's take a look at some of the stuff that's going on with Vertico. The thing that matters really is the extensions that come with Vertico, because there's quite a few. And some of them have some pretty interesting behavior. We can kind of, I don't want to try all of them. I just want to like set up a good config that I would like to use. So we will give that a shot. Here we go. Whoa, that's not what I wanted to do. Apparently it also has the same key bindings where Control J is the thing that accepts it. I have different bindings for up and down, which are Control J and K to arrow through the buffer. So this is why I'm having trouble sometimes hitting the wrong keys. We're gonna go to completion Vertico. All right. This is where I wanted to be. Vertico mode 1. And we've also got these other things. I wanted to try this Vertico Quick because that seems pretty cool, actually. It uses Avi for quickly selecting different entries in the completion list. Ashra says Fido mode will reset completion styles. The same might hold for other completion frameworks. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. All right, so quick exit. Exit with candidate using quick keys. Is this bound to something by default? Oh, you have to set it up yourself. Typing these quick keys will allow you to select the candidate in front of them. It suggests using key map set, meta Q for quick insert, and control Q for quick exit. We can definitely try that. So I'll copy that. I will load up require Vertico quick. Let's see if that works. Great. Now I can pull these in as well. I can eval region on that. And then inside the buffer, I can say control Q. And then type in, let's say, JS for dbus. That's pretty neat. What about find file? Okay, so then control, let's say Alt Q, and then H. So it will just complete that whole string. And then if I wanted to say control Q, G, find function other window. Nice. That's kind of nice. I actually haven't actually used that before, but it will save you from typing a lot of extra characters. Like, let's say, for instance, I wanted to do the same thing I just did, to find function other window. So find, well, what did I do the last time? Find dash, find function. So I have to type in func, and then, yeah. So if you don't have a really fuzzy matching completion setup going, then using meta Q to jump to find function other frame is way faster. So that's cool. I like that a lot, actually. I want to turn on orderless because that's what I'm used to using. If you don't know about orderless, it is a completion style which is a lot more, I don't know, to me it just feels like the right way that the completion should be done. I have orderless already turned on. I can probably just copy, sorry, I have orderless installed already. I can just drop this in, I think, and eval this region. Now, if I were to go back into that same thing, find function frame. This is normally how I try to do completions, where I see words that I'm interested in. I start like find, and then I see maybe this info finder. I can type in info here, and it will actually get me to that entry. But if I were to use this Vertico quick, then I could say Control Q H info finder, right? So either way, but I think that at least Vertical quick allows you to jump to a completion or a selection faster. It's less key presses, basically. And Case says, Vertico quick seems like most useful whenever using Vertico buffer. Well, let's try that because I haven't actually thought about it. So Vertico buffer. I haven't tried that yet. This also sounds like, you know, MCT-like, I guess. So if we run Vertico buffer mode, is that available? Vert buffer mode? Okay, yeah, so I think I can do that. Vertico buffer mode 1. And let's move this right up here, actually. It's kind of necessary. Now Vertico buffer mode 1 is on, Alt-X. Okay, so this is like a whole buffer here. Now, if I were to use Control Q again, does it work? It's different. What's different about this? So Control Q doesn't work anymore. This may be a different type of buffer. If I were to use Control S, no. Oh, you can do iSearch ERC. I mean, you probably wouldn't really want to do that anyway, though. VRT is... hey, go away. I broke something. Did I turn off Vertico mode? Wow. Vertico mode. There we go. Okay. Control Q. Let's see. Just because there's enough candidates to make selecting with Abby faster than selecting with scrolling up and down. Meta Q. Let's see if Meta Q works. No, it just puts in a... Oh, that did work. I wonder then if Control Q is bound to something else. Control H, K, Control Q. Vertical quick exit. Wow, I'm really confused now. Control Q, Control Q, Control Q, VE, Control Q, Control Q, Alt Q, Alt Q. Wow. So it's kind of flaky in this. The frustration was physical. The microphone picked up the hits on enter. Yes, I get a little bit slappy with the keyboard whenever it's not working. All right, so let's not do this Vertico buffer mode. I don't really know the benefit of that. I mean, maybe the docs tell me a little bit. If anybody can give me the justification for why anybody would want that on top of just the normal Vertico representation, then that would be nice. Why didn't that do something? T? 0. There we go. Now we're back to normal. Okay. I like it better in the mini buffer anyway, so let's just get rid of the buffer mode. So one thing that I like is this idea of having Vertico repeat. I used to use something like this a lot with Ivy, if this is what I think it is. Global set key, meta capital R. So that's like meta shift R for Vertico repeat. So the idea is that if you have a completion up and you have to exit it for some reason, and maybe you want to bring that same completion list back up with the same state it was already in, then something like Vertico repeat should help with that. This is really nice for like consult ripgrep and other things where you're doing a lot of searching across files. However, sometimes it's better to just export that buffer with Embark instead. But let's give this a shot. So require Vertico repeat. Is there a mode for that? We have to bind it to the function. Interesting. Okay, so there's like a hook we have to set up too. Maybe I might not even need to do this require because this Vertico repeat should be auto-loaded. So I'll set up the key binding, and then I will add the hook too. So then I'm going to type in EMA, and then press Control G to exit. And then I'm going to use Alt-Shift-R, no repeatable Vertico session. Maybe I had to actually select something. EMA. I'll select Emacs. Then exit. Great. Bye. Now, Control-Shift-R. Oh, okay. So it just ran the same command again? Is that what happened? Enables repetition of Vertico sessions via the Vertico repeat last, and Vertico repeat select commands. If the repeat commands are called from an existing Vertico mini buffer session, blah, blah, blah. Maybe it's Vertico repeat select that I want, isn't it? Let's try that. Vertico repeat select? I don't know. Okay. Completion history. It's not exactly what I had in mind. Ashra says, stream idea, have the current goal visible in the corner. Yeah, I want to set something up like that, but I just haven't done it yet. I was thinking about that today, actually. If the repeat commands are called from an existing Vertico mini buffer session, only sessions corresponding to the current mini buffer command are offered via completion. Well, let's try a consult ripgrep. Is that on my home folder? Yeah, we don't want that. Let's go into .files. And then consult ripgrep. What's a good string to use for this? Rust? Probably nothing in there. Scheme. Geeks. There we go. Okay. So if I press enter here. Okay. So it lets me get back into it. Let's go back to that completion Vertico file. We'll put this back to Vertico repeat because maybe this will do what I expect it to do. So Alt-Shift-R. That was the last thing I did. Okay, fine. Vertico repeat select. Hey. Vertico repeat select. Consult ripgrep. Then I'll run it again. Okay, so it does pull it back up. So I get the same search back, at least for consult ripgrep. I think basically what it does is it remembers the last command that you ran and the contents of the prompt at the time, and it can pull it back. So DO and press enter. And then if I hit Alt-Shift-R, then it should pull a find file with .do. So if you wanted to, like, you know, quickly look at another file that's related, maybe Alt-Shift-R will bring me back to this, and I can sort of refilter my my file search. So that actually does have quite a bit of utility, I think. Is save hist mode active? I don't think it needs to be because this Vertico repeat save is the thing that saves that. So whenever you run the mini buffer, it has this Vertico repeat save function that sets that up. Cool, I like that. That's pretty useful. Vertico unobtrusive. Displays only the topmost candidate. Turn on Vertico unobtrusive mode. Can be enabled globally or via Vertico multiform mode. Interesting. So Vertico unobtrusive mode. Now control, so let's do meta X, EMA. Oh, so this is just like iComplete. Why do we have iComplete for Vertico? What else? Emacs dash. And where is it getting this stuff from? Because I kind of need a list of candidates. Vertico flat mode is a derivative of Vertico flat mode. Well, let's try that. Vertico unobtrusive mode. We'll turn it back off. Vertico flat mode. All right, and that's definitely like iComplete. So EMA up. Okay. So if you like the more compact style, where it's on the same line and has the same functionality as Vertico does, even with up and down arrow keys, etc., It's kind of like a better icomplete, that's for sure. Then you can use the Vertico flat mode. I personally don't like it, but you know, to each their own. One thing we definitely need is Vertico directory. I think that's something that I've started using recently. And it's something for, what is that? Directory tidy. Let's do this. We'll copy these key bindings in. Okay. And then return is directory enter. I don't know why that is needed. But let's try that, actually. Oh, get rid of this Vertico flat mode. All right. Dot files. Press enter, it goes into the directory. You know, I don't like that, actually, because I prefer it to open DIRED if I press enter on a directory. So do, yeah. I don't like that one, but some other people might want to have that. But so I'm going to use key map unset Vertico map ret and get rid of that one. Okay. Also, delete. Ashra says that's like Helm. Yeah, makes sense. Delete char, delete word. So alt delete will delete the word. Del will delete the character. Let's look at this function. Yeah, describe it. That's what I'm asking you to do. What's happening? That doesn't seem right. What is happening? Something bad is happening. We may need to restart Emacs. Let me do something real quick. Load theme. What theme was this? Doom, Rogue? Rouge? Rouge? Yeah. And I'm going to restart Emacs. I think I put something in a weird state. Can I do Control X? There we go. So I'll pull back up that completion Vertico file, eval buffer. All right. Oh, yeah. Also want to get rid of the, hello. Evil mode. Save me. Toolbar mode. Yo, toolbar mode. Menu bar mode. All right. So we were looking at Vertico directory delete char. Delete in directories or characters before point. And then delete word. Delete in directories or words before point. All right, so let's try that. It's meta delete. So let's go a little bit further down into the file structure. So I think what this is going to do, if I press Alt Delete, it will delete like up the directory chain. I need to try one thing though. Files.config i3. Now, if I start typing conf and press Alt Delete, okay, good. Conf. If I press just delete, it doesn't seem to do anything. All right, fine. So then let's go with Alt Delete again. All right, that actually is what I want. Something's weird about what I have currently in my Vertico config, because pressing Alt Delete did not work for me. But maybe I just need to fix that. Let's see, you can do like Vertico unobtrusive until you hit tab twice or something. Oh, okay. I removed the mapping for ret in Vertico. Ah, thanks, Ashraz. That is exactly what I did. I did something really stupid. That explains why Vertico stopped working, and I was very confused. Okay, I'm glad I have people watching over my shoulders to just to let me know when I'm doing something really dumb. Arnav says probably bind that to backspace. Yeah, I actually bind it to Control H so that I can really quickly get out of things. I wonder if that has something to do with my problems. Let's see, Control H. Delete word. .files, .files, .config, i3, conf. So Control H, yeah. What was it, Alt H I was using? At any rate, that's definitely the right result for what I want. What else? So there's this Vertico grid to enable a grid display. We'll try that out. Indexed candidates with prefixed arguments. I got no idea what that means. With indices, if enabled via Vertico index modes, allows you to select candidates with prefix arguments. Okay, well, let's try that really quickly. Vertico indexed mode. There's numbers. And what do I do with these numbers? Okay. Do I use like a prefix? Yeah, Ashraz, that's probably why I'm using Alt-H for that. I just couldn't remember. Okay. Format candidate. Indexed mode. Index commands. Oh, select candidates with prefix arguments. Fine. Now, what is it like? Okay, let's say evil mode, right? Control U for enter. What do they do? Command history. Evil mode toggle. I'm not sure what's happening. Control HE? No. Control HE. There's some weird things happening right now. It's hard to tell. Let's try this with Control X, Control F. I will use Control U for enter. Okay, it did work actually. So that's an alternative to the Vertigo Quick. If you wanted to use something like a prefix key, it's probably the same number of key presses. So it's probably just a matter of personal taste and whether you're used to using the prefix key, Control U. So just to show you that one more time, Control X, Control F. And then let's say I want to open this .guile file here. It's got number 8. I press Control U, then 8, then enter, and then it opens that file. So it's just a quicker way to get to one of these selections. Yeah, I don't use Control H for that. I use Alt H. Ashraz. Don't be disappointed with me. I'm not doing the wrong thing. I promise. So let's see. Vertigo indexed. Not bad. Isn't 8 twice Control U? I don't know. Is it? Don't think that's gonna work. Oh, yes. You mean Control U twice. I see what you're saying. CU is 16. Yeah. All right. We've already done Vertigo directory. Unobtrusive. Quick. Grid we haven't done yet. Okay. So. No. What? Yes, kill the buffer. Kill anyway. Damn it. Okay, anyway. Vertico grid. I wonder if this index is going to work with Vertico grid. Oh, wow, it does work. That's cool. So you can see a lot more results on the screen at the same time. Let's say like what? EMACS dash. So you get a lot more things visible. And it seems to scroll through all those in the expected way. However, you lose stuff like, what do you call it? Marginalia. All the nice stuff there is not showing up anymore. So if you turn Vertigo grid mode back off, well, actually marginalia, I forgot to turn on again. Let's do that. Whoa. Evil mode is off, obviously. I think that's right. Okay. got Vertico marginalia order list set up here. That's good. And I was going to go back to Vertico grid mode. Yeah, so you don't get any of the nice stuff then. You have to turn grid mode back off, and then you get the nice annotations from marginalia. I keep making mistakes and pressing Control J. Yeah, marginalia is super nice. Super nice. Okay, so Vertico grid might be useful in some cases, and I think that's what this Vertico multiform is for. Vertico extension for fine-tuning the vertical display and other mini buffer modes per command or completion category. So if you want to use Vertico grid mode for, let's say, describe variable or something else, you could set that up. Let's see what this does here. Vertico multiform commands consult line buffer file buffer grid iMenu not indexed mouse. So a lot of these settings that we're setting or modes that we're pulling up, apparently you can set those for specific types of completions. You can also toggle between different display modes. Meta cap V, flat, reverse, unobtrusive. That's cool. I forgot to mention, someone asked if I'm in EXWM like a while back. I can't remember who it was. I just saw it fly by. No, this is Sway. Okay, so multiform. Let's see. Is there anything else to try before we try to set this up? No, that's pretty much it. There's a Vertico mouse. Do we want that? Okay, you just turn on Vertico, what, mouse mode? So if I were to jump into this here and try to scroll, it doesn't work, right? But if I turn on Vertico mouse mode 1, and then pull up the buffer and scroll inside, then it does actually let me scroll. Pixel scroll precision mode. Can I do that? No. Not really. Huh. Interesting. Sorta works, but sorta not. Doesn't seem very... Wait, let's turn that back on. Are we in a buff? Are we in a buffer where that makes sense? I don't want to be here. I'm trying to do the pixel scroll position, or scroll, whatever. Anyway, back to the original thing. I get sidetracked. Anyway, mouse mode, that works. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of nice, like if you already have your mouse above it and you want to just use, you know, the mouse wheel, especially if you have a track point like I do and your hand is already on the keyboard, then you could click on whatever entry you want, but Arnav says pixel scroll may work with Vertico buffer. Yeah, that's actually true. Let's try that. Vertico buffer mode. Yeah, that seems to work a bit better. If you wanted to use Vertico that way. I'm kind of impressed with how fast it updates. You know, it's not bad. I don't know if you can really see that with the frame rate of the stream. Let me turn that back off now. Cool, so that's pretty much it, I think, for all the latest stuff on Vertico, unless I'm missing any other settings that it wants to tell me about. We didn't try the multiform. I mean, let's check it real quick. Consult iMenu buffer indexed. I don't want to call it the thing that people like to call it, Case. You can say it if you want. I'm not going to say it. I call it the track point. So complementary packages, we have Marginalia, Consult, which we mentioned but didn't really talk about, Orderless, and Embark. I would really like to make a video about Embark because I think it's pretty awesome, but I don't think we'll get into that right now. And Consult is just a bunch of commands you can use for useful things like searching inside of a buffer or looking at your yank ring or your kill ring, I guess, or setting themes, etc. But that's not really something we want to talk about at the moment. I think we saw what we needed to see. Ashra says, Case, you will not refer it to that way as XKCD 243 did. I have not seen that one. Case says, we both have to worry about our kids finding the stream later. I think if my children ever watched any of my streams, they would immediately turn it off and never try to like look any further into any of the videos I've made. I'm not worried about that. Okay. Oh yeah. You know, I haven't actually tried like mini frame or post frame in a while. We could do that real fast. Interesting. If you want to look at what Doom Emacs does, there's a link to crafted Emacs. That's cool on the Vertico repo. But if you want to see what Doom Emacs does with Vertico, you can check out, I think here in, yeah, this file. See, that's my key bindings right there. That's why I'm having trouble. I might need to rip off some of this stuff. It might be useful for me. Anyway, what was it I wanted to do? Yeah, the Vertico post frame. Now, which one is a better option? Mini pop-up. Okay, so Minad has mini pop-up, and I believe I've tried it in the past, and it worked pretty well. But, I mean, do you really want to have all this in your config? What about this mini frame? Hasn't been updated in a while. Okay, so that's like a child frame. I like Vertico post frame because I've used that before. Okay, so Vertico post frame mode 1. I don't know if I have that installed. No, I don't have that installed. Straight, I don't have straight either. Package installed. Vertico post frame. Hey, great. It's an ELPA. Now I can run Vertico post frame mode 1, and then with Meta X, I have like another little window that pops up for all this stuff. Seems a little bit slow with the mouse move recognition. Interesting. Let's see, Emacs Dash. That's pretty cool. I mean, it looks fairly decent in Swayland here. I wonder if that's still a child frame. Can I move this around with Alt? Sorry, with Super? Doesn't look like it. But it centers on the screen pretty well. The thing I like about this is that it doesn't move your echo area. So if you wanted to, have a more stable display configuration that doesn't drive you nuts all day, then this can be pretty nice, actually. So I might start using that again, because in EXWM, sometimes it was a little bit weird. See you, Eric. Thanks a lot for being here. Kay says, I'm not sure what the hotness is with post frame. That's pretty much it. I mean, it looks kind of cool. But I think the important thing is it doesn't change how your, where was it? Vertico post frame mode. It doesn't mess with your display. So like if you've got, a couple of windows already set up and you start, running Meta X or anything else, then it just pushes all your windows around, which isn't that big of a deal, but it's a little bit of visual noise, I think. Oh wow, look at that. I don't think that's intended. So maybe Vertico post frame is not ready at the moment. Did not expect to see that. Okay. So did I miss anything in the chat? Anything worth doing in the next 8 minutes, 7 minutes? Benoit says, YouTube will die with us. YouTube is the past for teens. I don't know. Is it really? I mean, I guess, teens are probably just watching TikTok videos, but I would imagine some are watching longer form stuff, When I say longer form, I mean like 5 minutes as opposed to 5 seconds. Post frame plus scroll bar mode equals pain. You need to disable it. Oh, okay, yeah, that's true. I don't actually use scroll bar mode. Scroll bar mode, post frame. And then let's pull up some tasty splits. All right, so that's much better. Cool. So if you don't use scroll bars, which you shouldn't really need to if you're mostly a keyboard user in Emacs, then yeah, Vertico post frame is fine. Arnav says, I'm 17. What's the context there? Yeah, Arnav, well, okay, so Arnav's point is he's here watching a 2-hour stream right now instead of watching TikTok, so. Ashra says, y'all remember when 7-minute videos were suddenly long? Yeah, well, everybody switched to 10-minute videos because people thought that somehow it helped with the YouTube algorithm. Like if your video wasn't at least 10 minutes long, then it did not get promoted as much, which is very weird. Eric says, are you using Geeks or just the package system? I'm using full Geeks system here, for sure. Ashra says, and now it's the 24-hour-long Yule log videos, or the 12-hour-long Oblivion, Elder Scrolls Oblivion retrospectives. Have you seen that? Let's see. YouTube, Elder Scrolls Oblivion retrospective. If you want to go to sleep, watch this video. Oblivion analysis, 12 hours long. And I'm not joking, it's 12 hours long. The dude made a 12-hour-long video about a video game. And it literally goes into every possible topic you can imagine about Elder Scrolls lore. So, yeah. I see. Ashra says 10 minutes was necessary for getting more ads. Oh, you know, I forgot about doing the... what was it? Cape. So Minad just makes all the packages. Cape, is that what it's called? Cape.el, completion endpoint extensions. I didn't really get a chance to look at this. This is kind of like adjacent to the completion view, but it's sort of like, you know, getting better completions for certain things. Take a look at this. I think we actually looked at some of these on a stream once, but I don't remember which stream that was and how long ago it was. But I need to try to set this up in my config. Cape and Corfu, yes. Corfu for sure. Let's monetize system crafters. Yeah, it's... You know, with the number of views that I get on videos, you know, I get about, let's say $150 a month from ad revenue, which is okay. Obviously, you're not going to make a living off of that, but at the scale of the number of people who are interested in watching videos about Emacs and Geeks, that's about what you get from ads. Arnav says, I really hope you do a snippets plus LSP setup. I need to try doing some LSP videos again at some point. Eric says, good job not succumbing to using clickbait titles. You know, if someone wants to be a YouTuber, full-time, make a living on YouTube, you have no choice but to make clickbait videos and constantly pump out content. And that's just not for me. I have too many other things I want to do, so I can't be a YouTuber. I like streaming. I like making videos, but I don't want to, like, you know, try to game the system and do all that stuff. And diversify. Yes, it's difficult for me because I'm not going to go make videos about every Linux distribution or other editors because I have a very specific thing that I do, and that's where I've stayed in the channel so far. Oh yeah, merch and other ad revenues. Yeah, I mean, I've done other things obviously, but Gun says, waiting for the key map 101. Yeah, I actually have that video mostly written. I need to make that one. Yeah, diversify revenues for sure. I don't know. I'm starting to wonder how important it is to try to make money from this whole thing, because it takes a lot to cross the chasm from, you know, having people support you, which is excellent. I'm very happy that people support the channel. I'm very thankful that people support the channel, but to get to the point where you're actually, you know, can do it full time and have a family, support a family, it's a huge jump, huge jump. Ashra says, crafting community, system crafters in review. Well, I think that if we review my work in crafting the community, I would probably get an F for effort in the last year. Just because I haven't been as present as I should be. In the Discord, I haven't really hung out there at all. Longtime Emacs user tries out X. Like what, a JetBrains tool? Something like that? But anyway, all that said, I have fun doing these streams. And it's really hard for me to think about like not doing the Friday streams anymore. Even if I'm not making videos, like it's just such a normal thing for me to do now that I feel weird if I don't do a stream on Friday. So I'm just gonna keep doing this as long as there's anything interesting to talk about. Brackets? Oh man. We should try to download brackets. It probably isn't even available. Is it available on the internet anymore? Adobe brackets. Brackets.io. Unbelievable. I can't believe they still have this. I think that someone else owns it now, though, it seems. Was founded by Adobe and somebody else took it. Okay. Arnav says, I do think Emacs needs more streamers for popularity. I don't know. Aaron says, I think Notepad may be, and hey, Aaron, by the way, a bit too advanced to cover completely in one video. Yeah. Ashra says, I believe that Emacs can reuse Haskell's motto there. No success at all costs. Actually, that's pretty funny. I like that. Richard says, I enjoy the streams quite a bit. I'm mostly a lurker, but watch whenever I can. Thanks. That's great. And then YouTube tried to stop Gun from typing in an ed command. Arnav says, I got into NeoVim because of streams. Well, you probably watched the Primogen. And I can see why people would want to get into NeoVim after watching Primogen. I'm not quite so energetic or entertaining. SSL says, compare popular modular editing maybe, or modal editing. You mean like different editors or just modes for Emacs? There's definitely stuff that we could look at for that, for sure. But I haven't really used enough of it myself. What else is there? There's something else I was looking at recently. I can't remember the name of the package, but it was cool. See you, Aaron. Thanks for being here. Anyway, I've rambled on enough by this point. So, as far as like things coming up video-wise, I've got a long list of videos I want to do. I just got to find the right entry point. I think every stream I say, hey, I'm going to be doing videos soon. Well, I am going to be doing videos at some point. I just have to like, you know, spend some time. Maybe this weekend. We'll see. But I want to get back to doing that stuff because it is fun. There's, like I said, like Embark and other things that we haven't got a chance to cover yet. Should be fun to do. Oh, God. I'm not going to read the copy that Ashraz just wrote there. What's up, guys, is not something I'm going to say at the beginning of a video or stream. Anyway, I will put the configurations that we put together here in the show notes, and the link to the show notes is in the description. So after the stream, you'll be able to find the stuff that we put together today. Not everything we did is covered in the configuration files, but whatever. I mean, you can sort of just go play around yourself, figure it out. And until next week, hope you all have a great weekend and happy hacking. We'll see you. Thanks a lot.